A gunshot cracked through the trees like someone just slammed a car door on your last nerve, and just like that, everything I loved about this quiet piece of land changed forever. My bull Thunder, my pride, my 8-year-old Highland I'd raised since my life fell apart, jerked, stumbled, and hit the ground hard. His eyes met mine for a second, wide and stunned, like he couldn't believe I let this happen to him. I didn't run toward him. Not at first. I froze. Coffee still in my hand, steam mixing with the cold air like some cruel joke. This wasn't a hunting accident. Not some coyote control thing. This was something else. Karen Whitmore, HOA chair and queen of smog, stood nearby with her signature clipboard like she was checking for parking violations. "We're protecting the neighborhood," she said, without even pretending to look upset. Let me back up a sec. I live on a ranch just outside Quaidale Springs. Moved here 5 years ago after my divorce with nothing but a busted-up truck, a broken heart, and enough legal knowledge to wallpaper the courthouse. But this land, raised a herd of Highland cattle, started over. Thunder was my first. The bull I bought fed when he was the size of a Saint Bernard, and my soul felt smaller than that. And now, he was gunshot by a so-called wild boar control mission that just happened to trespass onto my land and take out $200,000 worth of livestock. I knelt beside Thunder as Karen explained how, in low light, his silhouette resembled a feral hog. I just stared at her. You ever hear someone say something so dumb you forget how to speak? That was me. These weren't pigs rooting through garbage. These were Highland bulls, long horns, shaggy coats, gentle eyes, me family. Behind Karen stood Chad, vice chair with wannabe tactical gear and a rifle slung like he thought he was SEAL Team HOA, and Mike, ex-cop turned community enforcement, with all the charm of an unpaid parking ticket. They didn't look sorry. Not even a little. Karen handed me a county permit signed by Commissioner Frank Rodriguez. Vague language, legal jargon, said something about neutralizing wildlife threats in extended safety zones. My property. Now part of their so-called zone. Funny, I never signed anything, never got notice, never agreed to be a part of their little kingdom. But it didn't end there. 3 days after Thunder died, I got a bill. A bill. $5,000 for unauthorized animal carcass disposal in a public safety zone. That's when it hit me. This wasn't incompetence. This was strategy. I dug into the ordinance. Found it was passed with no public hearing, 3 commissioners out of 7 in a closed session. Turns out Rodriguez's wife ran a consulting firm tied to Morrison Catch and Associates, the same law firm who helped write the ordinance in the first place. That's when things clicked. This wasn't about safety. This was about land. My neighbor, Pete 72, fought in Vietnam, the kind of guy who still says "mom" and means he told me they shot his guinea fowl and called them a noise hazard. Maria Gonzalez. They killed her daughter's goat, called it escaped livestock. Then offered to buy her land. Cheap. She didn't sell. Now she gets code violations every week. One by one, the pattern showed up. They'd harass you, kill something you love, send a fine, and then like magic an offer shows up to buy your land for pennies. The company, Prairie Development Partners, registered at the same address as the HOA. And the listed agent, Gerald Whitmore, Karen's husband. You starting to smell what I'm stepping in? That night I couldn't sleep. I sat on my porch, same spot where Thunder used to rest in the evenings, and I made a decision. I pulled out my old badge, the one I hadn't used since I stopped working as legal counsel for the state AG's office, and I got to work. I met with an old colleague, Linda, now the local DA. Told her what I had: recordings, photos, financial trails. She listened, eyes widening as I laid it all out. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. Someone called about you last week. Claimed you were inciting the community. Tried to get your record pulled. They were trying to take me down before I even stood up. So I installed cameras. Recorded everything. Every compliance check, every fake violation. They even claimed my grass was 3.2 inches when the limit was 3.0, sent me a $500 a day fine. I recorded Mike telling Chad, "Boss lady says step up the pressure. He's cracking." And then Chad, "This guy, Monsolis, maybe the next hunting trip won't be a mistake." That was enough. I filed for a federal injunction. Called in every connection I had. The state AG got involved. Then the feds. Turns out Prairie Development was part of a syndicate. They'd been doing this in multiple states, harassing landowners, forcing sales, then flipping properties for casino expansion. The final straw came at a community meeting. Karen stood at the podium like she was about to declare war. She showed slides maps with red pins for every problematic property. Called it Phase 2. She said, and I quote, "We've resolved 15 cases successfully, and we will not stop until every risk is eliminated." She thought she was being inspiring. What she was doing was confessing to a criminal conspiracy. And every word was recorded by me, by the Fed sitting in the back of the room, and by a camera hidden in the ceiling. I stood up. Held up my ID. "Name's Marcus Thompson," I said. "Senior legal advisor to the state AG. And I've been documenting every single thing you've done for 6 months." Karen turned white. Mike reached for something in his jacket, but Chad just froze. That's when Agent Chan stepped forward, badge raised, and said, "This meeting is now a federal investigation. No one leaves." They arrested all of them. Karen, Chad, Mike, even Commissioner Rodriguez. The syndicate's local branch collapsed in a single night. Thunder got justice. Now, a year later, the ranch has doubled in size. There's a new Highland bull, born from Thunder's lineage. Linda and Aya, we got married. Her daughter calls me a dad. We built a foundation that helps people fight back against HOA abuse and property intimidation. And Thunder. He's got a statue in town square. Bronze. Regal. Deserved. But let me tell you something, and I mean this from the heart: this isn't just a story about land. It's about how far people will go when they think no one's watching, and how much one person can change when they finally decide to fight back. So let me ask you, what would you have done? Would you have rolled over, paid the fines, sold your land just to get peace? Or would you have stood up? Tell me in the comments. Because I think we all got a little thunder in us, we just need a reason to let it roar.